We are live from Mikocheni, Dar es Salaam. This is TBC News. Our top stories. Peace, unity, main message as Tanzania marks Eid al-Adha. Uhuru torch revives fresh hopes in Njombe. Good evening. I am Kanki Mwegomole. You can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBC Online, and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook, and X pages at TBC Online. The Revolutionary Government of Zanzibar has entered into an agreement with the government of Saudi Arabia to have two accounts of operations for Hajj activities under one office, as well as starting direct flights from Zanzibar to Saudi Arabia by next year to give Zanzibar pilgrims easier and more affordable way to travel. Dr. Mwinyi made the remarks in Michiweni District North region in Pemba while speaking during the Eid Hajj Council.
It is my hope that the number of visits to this pilgrim will increase. An agreement has already been reached between us and the government of Saudi Arabia of having two accounts for the operation of Hajj activities under one office of the United Republic of Tanzania.
Speaking about the implementation of the government's mission on the establishment of a special Hajj fund in the country, Dr. Mwinyi says that the fund will help many more Muslims to perform the ritual.
Hajj rituals is a source of hope for those who can implement it. It is a source of teachings and a guidance to Muslims. They urge us to God-fearing and avoid evil doing. They teach us unity and cooperation amongst one another.
A total of 2,087 pilgrims out of the 3,300 from Tanzania this year went to Makkah, Saudi Arabia to perform the Hajj rituals, and the number from Zanzibar is expected to increase in years to come. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa urges Tanzanians to continue to put focus on appropriate parental guidelines at the family level to save the country from the effects of moral degradation and to ensure that the young people live in accordance with the country's traditions, customs, and culture. The Prime Minister made the call today during the National Eid al-Adha celebrations held at the Mosque of King Muhammad VI Bakwata headquarters in Dar es Salaam. Rehema Sebabili has more details.
Day of Eid al-Adha, which begins with a special ritual. Allahu Akbar. This day also involves the sacrifices of animal slaughter. What exactly is the concept behind it?
The concept is Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam, he dreamed that he is slaughtering his son. In the morning, he expressed the concept of the dream to his son. The son told his father that this is not a mere dream. It is a revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
What kind of animal deserve be slaughtered during this day?
We slaughter sheep, camels, goats, mbuzi, and other animals that we are allowed to. The Muslims are allowed to eat.
The importance of this practice, it is a means of aiding the poor, enjoying the same as the haves they enjoy the Eid al-Adha.
Speaking after the prayer, Prime Minister Majaliwa urged Muslims communities to use this day to help those in need, encouraging them to enjoy the celebration peacefully.
Waislamu tujenge tabia ya upendo.
We Muslims, we must show love, especially to those in need, such as poor people and the sick. We have to pray for them and wish them well. Therefore, after the slaughter, we have to distribute to those in need. These are charitable deeds.
How should a Muslim celebrate the day of Eid on Islamic grounds?
We should think of our family. Today, let's say it's a family day. Sit with your wife or your wife's children. Maybe if you have parents, yes. Instead of going out with your friends, they have their time. You must give them time. But then on that particular day or today, be with your family.
Today I'm going to celebrate this Eid because it's a special day for all Muslims, wherever the world. And we celebrate for keeping on doing a good, and we're celebrating to keep on sharing and caring with others.
We have to celebrate it by eating and drinking. We have to wear a nice clothes.
Eid al-Adha prayer has gone in parallel with the Eid Council, where Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa has emphasized the need for religious leaders to manage moral issues among young people in the society. Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Rehema Sbabili, TBC News.
In other news, Uhuru Torch Race 2024 has begun in Ludewa district in Njombe region, where the residents of the district thank the government for completing various projects, including water projects and construction of health facilities and VETA center in the region, insisting the move has boosted development activities in the areas. Here's a report by Tatu Abdallah, read by Faiz Angaga.
The Uhuru Torch 2024 race has started in the Njombe region after completion of its race in the Ruvuma region.
The Uhuru Torch will pass through 40 projects in Njombe region. The Uhuru Torch will ensure the installation of 7 foundation stones. All these projects are worth 15.9 billion shillings.
Ludewa District Council is the first to witness the torch, where 7 projects worth more than 8 billion shillings have been inspected.
We have done inspection on the infrastructure of the project. We have also inspected the documents, and we shall install signs here to show that the Uhuru Torch has passed here.
Speaking after Uhuru Torch inspected the Malvanga Village Water Project together with the VETA Center, some citizens say the project will revolutionize lives in the area.
We used to wake up very early to go fetch water. We used to face a lot of challenges, but now due to this water project, water is available at an affordable price.
The government has provided a lot of money for the implementation of this project. We are grateful to President Samia for recognizing the importance of water supply here. Almost 5,000 people had no ample water supply.
Others praised the construction of the VETA Center, insisting the center will help in boosting education sector in the area.
We believe that this college will bring about development here.
On the other hand, the Member of Parliament for Ludewa constituency, Zacharias Kamonga, together with the District Commissioner, Victoria Mwanziva, elaborate further how the government is determined in executing its plans.
President Samia has brought 6 billion shillings, 654,413,000 for the construction of this college.
After having discovered coal which can be used to generate electricity, that the idea of the construction of the vocation training college came about in order to enable people who live here to get employment opportunities.
Earlier, the National Uhuru Torch leader, Godfrey Eliakim Mzava, has urged the district to prepare needed documents to facilitate the inspection exercise.
And as the world today marks the day to combat desertification and drought, according to the United Nations, it is estimated that over 1 billion young people under the age of 25 years live in areas that are directly dependent on land and natural resources for sustenance. Peter Mganga has more details.
Desertification, land degradation, and drought are among the most pressing environmental issues of our time, with up to 40% of all land area worldwide already considered degraded. Healthily, land not only provides us with almost 95% of our food, but so also it clothes and shelters us, provides jobs and livelihoods, and protects us from the worsening droughts, floods, and wildfires. At the same time, growing populations coupled with unsustainable production and consumption patterns fuel demand for natural resources, putting excessive pressures on the land leading to its degradation. Desertification and drought are driving forced migration, putting tens of millions of people each year at risk of displacement. Of the world's 8 billion inhabitants, over 1 billion are young people under the age of 25 living in developing countries, particularly in regions directly dependent on land and natural resources for sustenance. Creating job prospects for rural populations is a viable solution that gives young people access to eco-entrepreneurship opportunities and at the same time to scale up best practice. This year, the theme of the Desertification and Drought Day is United for Land, Our Legacy, Our Future, stressing on the future of land stewardship, our most precious resources to ensure the stability and prosperity of billions of people around the world.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Information, Communication and Information Technology, Nape Nnauye, says youth should honor the legacy of late Ambassador Ferdinand Ruhinda, a renowned former Tanzanian journalist, diplomat and businessman. Nape made the call during the funeral service for the late Ambassador Ruhinda, who made a mark during his service as a journalist, diplomat and businessman. Here's a report prepared by Florence Mavindi, read by Teddy Mparanyanga.
It is a sad Monday for the members and Tanzanians who are touched by the loss of the late Ambassador Ferdinand Ruhinda, today getting a chance to say goodbye to the man who was born in 1938 and died on June 14, 2024. Leading the farewell service for the late, pastor and leader of the KKT congregation, Manfred Kilajo, insists people to live based on the guidelines portrayed by the Word of God.
In our religion, you are not supposed to live with your own conscience. You live in God. This means that He is the one who decides on how our life should be.
The first Vice President and retired Prime Minister Sinda Warioba says that the late ambassador was a man of reasoning, portraying more action than mere words in his service.
He was a politician in his own kind of way. He had a strong opinion about the politics.
TSN Acting Executive Director Aisha Dachi says that the late was a person who contributed a great deal in ensuring that the media industry moves forward professionally.
He had a great contribution in building professionalism in the media industry, especially here at Tanzania Standard newspapers.
During his lifetime, the late Ambassador Ferdinand Ruhinda worked as a development officer in the same district, as a journalist with Tanzania Broadcasting Corporation TBC and Tani newspapers, as executive editor of Daily News and Businesses Times, and founded the Citizen newspaper and Uhuru Radio. He also worked as a chairperson of the Tanzania Broadcasting Corporation and later as the ambassador of Tanzania in Sweden, Canada, and China.
Mayor of Temeke Municipality Abdallah Mtinika says his municipal acknowledges great contribution made by the Chinese community to the education sector in Temeke district, enabling Tanzanian children to learn various international languages, including Chinese. Emmanuel Samuel has more details.
Speaking in Dar es Salaam after visiting the Long Chuan Both International School, owned by the Chinese community in Temeke, the mayor insisted that it is gratifying to see foreign investors supporting the government's efforts in providing best education to Tanzanians.
It is our responsibility as government or municipal to build the school everywhere. But if it happens for private sectors and other stakeholders like you start a thing like this. You take care of our children. We don't have many words to say than to say thank you very much. Thank you very much on behalf of the Temeke Municipal Council. Thank you very much on behalf of the government of Tanzania. We promise you have our support 100%.
On the other hand, the director of the school, Master Xian Hong, says that they will continue to cooperate with the government to ensure that Tanzanians are guaranteed to ensure employment opportunities through the Chinese language.
In the future, when the kids, not only kids, and also the young people who can come to study Chinese, and if they are willing and plan to go to China to study, they will have the chance. And the master here, we will use some channel and to search some resources to send the kids and the young people to go to China to study, to learn, to make them the better person.
In another step, Mayor Mtinika has joined the leaders of the Long Chuan Both International School to hand over various needs to the orphans raised in the Long Chuan Care Center. Emmanuel Samuel, TBC News.
And before we wind up our local news tonight, let us now have a look on today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Don't miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. It's now time for all the latest in the international news. And here's the international news as compiled by Ramadhani Mpenda and read to you by Faida Ngaga.
An armed group linked to Al-Qaeda, JNIM, has claimed responsibility for what it said was an attack on June 11th that killed more than 100 Burkinabe soldiers in the Mansilla area near the border with Niger. JNIM quoted in a statement as saying that 5 years ago, fighters stormed a military post in the town where they killed 107 soldiers and took control of the site. Several videos shared online by JNIM showed ranging gunfire around the army base and a display of ammunition and dozens of weapons and at least 7 captured Burkinabe soldiers. More news from Burkina Faso reported that the government is trying to fight the armed groups but has not recruited professional soldiers to do so. Over more than a decade, armed groups have killed thousands and displaced more than 2 million in Burkina Faso. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has dissolved the 6-member war cabinet after the departure from government of the centrist former General Benny Gantz and his friend Gadi Eisenkot. Mr. Gantz and Mr. Eisenkot quit over the Prime Minister's leadership last week over what they said was Netanyahu's failure to form a strategy for the Gaza war. The two former military chiefs had joined a national unity government with Prime Minister Netanyahu's right-wing coalition days after the start of the war on Gaza in October 2023. Previously, the Israeli media reported that sensitive issues about the war with Hamas in Gaza will now be discussed by a smaller forum. However, a spokesman for the Israel Defense Force Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari said, as far as it was concerned, it would not affect the chain of command. The Greek Coast Guard has caused the death of thousands of migrants in the Mediterranean over a 3-year period, including 9 who who were deliberately thrown into the water. Over 40 migrants on small boats died due to the Greek Coast Guard's actions, which included forcing damaged vessels to return to sea. 9 people died after being pushed into the water by Coast Guard officers, according to eyewitnesses from NGOs, local media, and the Turkish Coast Guard. This comes days after protests in Athens marked the anniversary of a shipwreck that killed hundreds of migrants off Greece, with demonstrators demanding answers. The BBC investigation found that at least 40 migrants died due to the Greek Coast Guard's actions in 15 incidents between May 2020 and 2023. Migrants reported mistreatment by Coast Guard officers and police, including being thrown into the water after reaching land. In 5 of the incidents, migrants said that they were thrown directly into the sea by the Greek authorities. And 4 of those cases, they explained how they had landed on Greek islands but were hunted down. In several other incidents, migrants said they had been put onto inflatable rafts without motors, which then deflated or appeared to have been punctured. The Greek government has long been accused of forced returns, pushing people back towards Turkey, where they have crossed from, which is illegal under international law.
And that was the international news. Sports news is up next. And in sports news, Simba Sports Club has announced that the club will not renew the contract of the team captain and top striker John Boko for the 2024-2025 season. Through Simba app, the statement issued by the club reveals that Boko will remain to be the under-17 Simba Sports Club coach, the role he has undertaken since January 2024, proving to be a success in the ongoing under-17 league. John Boko joined Simba in the year 2017-2018 season and led a club to win 4 consecutive Tanzania Premier League titles, played 4 CAF Champions League quarter-finals and 1 CAF Confederation Cup quarter-finals. Simba Sports Club has started its team selection for the upcoming Tanzania Premier League 2024-2025 season. And Tabora United Football Club chairperson RPC Richard Abwayo says they have gathered adequate experience in the last Tanzania Premier League season and they are ready to maximize on them in the next league season. Speaking to TBC News in Tabora, the team chairperson says he believes that they will build a squad that will be able to challenge top clubs for the title in the league.
Still say we need to build a strong team that will go to compete on large scale. The defects that appeared this season, we have to finish it. We make sure that we solve them. We believe that our goal is to collect more points next season so that we can be in better position.
Pointi nyingi zitakwenda kutupima kwamba tunaweza kuwa kwenye nafasi gani kwenye ligi.
Tabora United Football Club remains in the Tanzania Premier League after crashing out Biashara United 2-1 in an aggregate after 2 playoff matches. That is the sports news. And now, before we conclude the news bulletin for tonight, let's take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Hello, this is 24 hours of the forecast from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. Starting from tonight, 9 p.m., wind is expected to flow at the speed of 20 kilometers per hour over Lake Victoria. For Lake Tanganyika and Lake Nyasa, wind is expected to flow at the speed of 30 kilometers per hour. And the state of the lake is expected to be slight to moderate. For the entire coast, wind is expected to flow at the speed of 40 kilometers per hour. And the state of the sea is expected to be rough. And this comes with an advisory of severe weather, of which Tanzania Meteorological Authority has issued an advisory of period of strong winds reaching 40 kilometers per hour and large ocean waves reaching 2 meters over some areas of Dar es Salaam, Tanga, Pwani including Mafia Isles, Lindi, Mtwara, together with Pemba and Unguja Isles. Necessary measures and precautions should be taken. And now let us see of the weather details, and this is what we expect for tonight. For the entire country, we expect dry condition. Dry condition and cooler temperatures are expected to persist over most parts of the country, especially over southwestern island, of which the lowest minimum temperature is expected to be 5 degrees of centigrade over Mbeya region, followed by 6 degrees of centigrade over Njombe region. And now let us see of what we expect for tomorrow. We expect partly cloud condition and sun periods for the entire country. And now let us take a look of the next 4 days weather forecast. That's all for today. Make sure to catch up again tomorrow. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, my name is Mariam Faris. Bye-bye.
And that marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Do not miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. tonight. On behalf of the whole team, I am Kanki Mwaigomole. Good night.